All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Fertility TV. I am your host, Dr. Marc Sklar, the fertility expert, and today I am super excited to have Sarah Nab here with us from Trak. So Sarah is the co-founder of the company that developed Trak. She also is the editor for Don't Cook Your Balls, and today we're talking all about male fertility, if that didn't give you a little hint before I said that when we talked about Don't Cook Your Balls. So I love the name. Sarah and I met a while back, and once they just came out with this new fertility or male fertility test, I should say, we thought it was a good idea to introduce her and Trak to all of you. So that's why she's here today. Thanks so much, Sarah, for joining me.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here and share Trak. It's been a long labor of love. I've been working on this project for almost 4 years, really perfecting Trak and getting it ready to bring to people. So it's super excited to finally introduce it.
Yeah, I am sure, right? When you put in that much effort into something, it's nice to get it finally out there. So we've got Trak, which is a male fertility testing system. It's really, from what I understand and what Sarah and I have talked about, it's a home testing kit for men. So Sarah, can you tell everybody who's watching and listening a little bit about what Trak is?
Sure. So Trak is an FDA cleared home test that allows men to measure and hopefully improve their sperm count from home. We really care a lot about men's reproductive health and want to give couples all the tools that we can to help the male side of the equation. So Trak is a really almost more than a test in that we have so much more education and tools that couples can use. So I can walk through a little bit what you get when you get Trak.
Yeah, I see the little kit behind you as well.
Yep, it's right here up on my thing. And when you order
I've got it right here too. Go for it.
Everyone's got a Trak. So Trak comes in a nice discreet brown box. You open it up, you'll get this testing device.
Cool.
Basically, it's a little centrifuge, and then there are 4 tests that come with it. And
okay,
it's important to note that it comes with so many tests because male fertility isn't just like a one-time thing. You don't just find it out and that's it. It's not a static number. Your sperm are quite sensitive to what you do in your life, and so we've included lots of tests there because we want you to be measuring this kind of on a regular basis to make sure either that you stay in that optimal zone or that if you are a little bit lower, that as you're taking steps to try to improve, that you can test again and see if those things are making an impact. And that will allow you to take steps at home to figure out when you need to go to a doctor, if you need to go to a doctor, and then also monitor any things that you're doing with a doctor if you need to. So it's a very nice long tool that you can use on your fertility journey, whether you're just starting out, even if you're thinking about starting, because sperm count is something that if you want to improve it, it can take a little bit of time. So it could be useful even to do before you're even actually trying, just to see where you stand and if there's anything you need to do. So,
awesome.
So that's what you get in the box. It also comes with this really fun guide to reproductive health.
Yes, I looked through it. It's awesome.
Lots of pictures because
men do good with pictures,
right? Who wants to read? I have 4 brothers, and this passed the bathroom test in that they sat and read it in their most important reading time. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes with 4 of these, right?
Right.
Okay. Awesome. And then we got the little centrifuge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
So I can kind of walk through how Trak works. If you were to get the test, you would collect the sample in a cup as usual. You would use a little dropper and you would add some fluid into the middle of this, some of the sample into the middle of this little test thing here.
Yeah.
And then you would put it on this.
On the centrifuge.
Centrifuge, and it starts to spin.
Love it.
Love it. What happens is while it's spinning, all the sperm cells that are in the sample are actually getting forced down this long channel here.
Okay.
And they get compacted into a nice white, they make a white little column.
Okay.
The more sperm cells that are there, the higher that column is going to be.
Great.
And then there are two lines on this thing.
You can talk about it and I'll show it.
Yeah, two lines, the 15 line and the 55 line. And those lines are really calibrated lines that have been, that correlate with cutoffs that have been identified by literature and by the World Health Organization. So the 15 line is the cutoff for a low sperm count. In general, if you're below this 15 line, something is severely impacting your sperm production, and you really need to go in to get a full evaluation done. You should get a full semen analysis and understand what's going on there. You probably should also get a hormone test done, and maybe even some genetics tests done, just to see what's happening there. And so I really would recommend guys in that zone to go visit a urologist and just get that workup done.
Yeah, find out what's cooking their balls.
Right, something's cooking your balls down there. Now the 55 line is the line that we have for optimal sperm count, and no one really talks about optimal sperm count in the fertility world. Most people are talking about this low cutoff. But what the literature suggests is that the more sperm you have, the better your chances of conceiving. So if you want to get pregnant quicker, then really getting your sperm count above there is going to help you get pregnant faster, because more sperm gives you more chances every month. And there's a lot of men who are in that kind of moderate range due to random stuff that they're doing to themselves. They're stressed out. They're not exercising enough. They could have a really bad diet. You do a really fantastic job, particularly helping guys in this range. I think a lot of your treatments really help men. And I would even say some of the guys in the low range too. Some of these things can impact sperm down into the low range, where there's not really a medical, like, true problem. It's just that their life is so rough on their sperm that they could be in the low range. But at the low range, we do it could be there's something else too. So it's good to get a full labs done. So yeah, our goal is to really help men understand that and try to get their sperm into the optimal zone. And if they're in the optimal zone, just checking every once in a while to make sure that they stay there, because again, some times in a hot tub, a Friday night drinking too much, those kinds of things can cause a temporary dip in your sperm count. So you do just want to keep tabs on it. And why not? You have the test there anyway. Right. We want the testing to not be a barrier. We want to really just open it up for men to allow them to have control of this side. Yeah,
it's one of the things that I hear the most from my female patients is that their partners or husbands are really not interested, or they're resistant. They don't want to go in for testing and so forth, which I totally get. That being said, for all the men watching out there, your wives or partners do quite a bit on their side to do testing for themselves, in the effort to have children and grow your families. That, I think you all can step up a little bit and give a little sample. It's not the worst procedure in the world. I promise.
I promise.
I promise.
Make it fun. We don't have a subscription to anything that comes with the kit, but I'm sure your wife will allow you this a one-time pleasure.
Right. Exactly. But the sooner you find out that information, actually, the better. 40%, upwards of 40, maybe even 45%, depending on what you're counting, contributing to fertility, is a male factor. So to round it, we're basically saying almost half of the time there's a male factor issue involved in fertility, or can be. And so with that, it's not something that I think or recommend waiting to gather that information, which is why I think the Trak system is so valuable, because, okay, you don't want to go into the test. You don't want to go into the lab to do this because, granted, it's more awkward and uncomfortable, but you could do this at home and get a lot of very useful information. And so on that note, Sarah, how accurate is the kit when it comes to sperm count?
It's very accurate. So we, like I said, this is an FDA approved device. So we went through all of the testing and rigor that is required to get something cleared as an FDA cleared device. We did a 3-site clinical trial, and we showed that this is as accurate as the standard lab test that is done.
Awesome.
So it's medical grade. Yeah.
Super accurate then.
Yeah.
And then, so, I mean, you and I have spoken about this before, but, for everyone out there, if you are not aware, that there are roughly, if you were going for a standard at your urologist's office or fertility clinic for a standard semen analysis, it does cover more than just sperm count. So why track your sperm count?
So, when you are trying to lose weight, it's useful to get on a scale. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes people will get their Fitbit and they'll just measure steps. Sometimes it's useful to have a simple thing that you can focus on to be able to kind of use that as a barometer for the rest of the health. So if a man is healthy, his testicles are going to be healthy. Those testicles are going to make a lot of sperm because that's what they are designed to do. If they don't, and those sperm are likely to be healthy. So the higher your sperm count, the more likely you are to have healthy, good, fertilizing sperm. And if your testicles are not healthy, you're going to make fewer of them and they're going to be kind of crappy in general. Yeah. Now, there are exceptions to this. Sometimes there's weird genetic things or other things that could cause a healthy man to make unhealthy sperm, or vice versa. So if you're trying for a really long time, even if your Trak result is good, if you're trying for a long time, I would say you should still go in and get a full analysis just to see. There could be a DNA thing, there could be something else. Okay. But in general, if you have healthy sperm, healthy body, you're going to have healthy sperm, and that count's going to be up there in the optimal range. That's why we have the optimal range. Yeah.
And it's, two things about the other two parameters, right? The motility and morphology. One is they're more difficult to test. And two, if you have 5%, or if you have 5 million sperm count, right? But you have 1% morphology versus 100 million sperm count and 1% morphology, you're talking about different numbers.
Right.
So, and this is the thing that I keep trying to stress to patients, that, oftentimes one of the easier, faster ways to change poor morphology or motility is to improve your count, because those are percentages based off of your count. Right. So, that's also, I think, why this is so valuable, aside from the fact that you can do it at home.
Yeah, totally. And, another thing about men getting tested, you brought up that, men don't want to get tested, and they'll put out there, I think, that going in for the thing is awkward, and they have to take time off work. And there's a lot of reasons to drag your heels, but I've talked to a lot of men about this. And what I've come to find out is that men are a little bit nervous about the answer, right? About finding out the information. And that other stuff out there, the inconvenience and whatever, is a great excuse or a good reason to say, I don't want to do this test. And that that not wanting to find out is why we've spent so much energy in building Trak to be a really safe system to help men understand where they're at, but also to realize that this is not a number set in stone. You don't just find out this result and then it's like a, whatever. It's not
it's not a life sentence.
No, it's not. This is just a starting point. And it's hard to, get up there and say, okay, I'm going to step on the scale and really find out where I'm at, because you have to live with that in terms of you have to make choices. But that's what Trak is designed to do. It's designed to be a starting point and allow men to understand what they can do. And there are often a lot of really simple things that aren't gonna kill you to try to do. It's just getting a little bit of a better sleep at night, drinking some more water, like things you could start with some pretty simple stuff and really find that it's going to have a big difference in terms of your overall health and your fertility. It's very similar to women in that, like, we can take some simple steps and we can really improve our bodies and our fertility, and men the same way. It's the body needs to be healthy. And so this is really a tool for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, I know that previously, and I don't know the exact year where things started to change, but previously, normal sperm count used to be 80 million, and then it came down to like 60 million. And, it's progressively gone down of what's considered normal. Right now, it's about 20 million is considered, a normal amount of sperm count to get pregnant. And you had said, that barrier is about 15 million in terms of the testing. And so, I think they put it in 20 million to give a little bit of a cushion, if you will. Mm-hmm. So what sort of things can men do to improve their sperm count if they wanted to be closer to what used to be normal and where ideally we want them to be 60 million and up?
Yeah, I think a lot of this is that normal has been based on a population curve, right?
Right.
And what we're seeing is that overall sperm counts are going down because of a lot of reasons. They don't have all of them, figured out in the literature, but some of them are things that we can intuitively connect to. Increased obesity, increased environmental toxins, increased estrogens in the environment, long periods of sitting. Men are not supposed to sit all day long. They are supposed to be up doing stuff. So,
yeah.
One simple thing is if you have a sitting job, get a standing desk or take breaks like every hour, because what's happening is you are literally kicking your balls by sitting there. They are outside of your body for a reason. They need to be lower than body temperature. If you're sitting, they're all wrapped up in body temperature, and they're going to get warm. And that really will cause your sperm count to go down, because they need to be a lower temperature. Sperm needs to live at a lower temperature. So, those are some of the basic things. Drinking is a big deal.
Drinking like alcohol, you mean?
Alcohol, yeah. Particularly, we see binge drinking. Like where you're drinking a lot in a single setting, like that Friday night type thing.
Right.
That's really pretty bad because it overloads your liver, and then you can't actually create some of the nutrients that your sperm need. And so it's just
don't binge drink.
No binge drinking.
No binge drinking.
Yeah. Marijuana is also pretty bad.
Yep.
Smoking is really bad, although I'm glad to see smoking rates going down, because
considerably. It's nice. It's
really, really bad for you. So stuff that's bad for you or bad for your sperm in general.
Right.
Stress is bad. It can mess with your hormones.
Oh, for sure. I see it all the time. So for those of you who are not aware, with the Trak system, I know you get that booklet that Sarah showed us, which gives you a lot of good information and some simple, basic, healthy tips. As part of it, there's also a Trak app, correct, Sarah?
Right. Yeah. Let me show you that. So the Trak app is really great in that it's going to break it down and make it really personal for you.
Cool.
The Track app has a couple of major areas. It's loading in my phone right now. So here, this
cool.
area here is a questionnaire about your life. So it's going to talk through
Awesome.
all the things that we have found in the literature to impact male fertility. It's going to ask you your age, your weight, what your diet's like, what your stress is like, etc. And you know, this questionnaire was really developed both by reviewing literature and by talking with a lot of the leading urologists in the country.
Great.
So as you go through it, there's about 20 required questions and probably up to like 100 total questions. If you want to get the deep dive, you can just keep going and answering questions.
That's awesome.
But there's 20 like the basic ones. And once you do those, it's going to give you a score on each of 6 major areas.
Okay.
Diet, exercise, your overall health and wellness, stress, heat, and toxins. And those areas will show up as red, yellow, or green. And basically, if you're in the green, you have a really good lifestyle for that area. If you're yellow, there's things to improve. And if you're red, that's really a risk factor.
Okay.
The other thing that the Track app does is it has here the logging of results.
Oh,
and
great.
What's nice about that is you can log both a track result and a clinical semen analysis.
Oh, good.
So you can, if you're working with the doctor or with someone, an expert like Dr. Sklar here, and you get lab work done, including like testosterone tests and other things. So those test results can all go into the Track app.
Love it.
And it'll go through a series of questionnaires to put in like, so you put in the result of the Track test, but you'll also put in things like the volume, how long did you abstain, stuff like that. Those are useful notes for the physician. And they're also useful for you because if you're, you know, looking back and saying, well, how long did I abstain this time and how long did I abstain that time? You can see if there's a, you know, a correlation there. And then it gives you a really detailed report about what does your result mean, both the Track result and the semen analysis result. So if you do a semen analysis result, we'll do some of the math for you to talk about like total number of healthy sperm and all of that. We give all of the reference guidelines for breakdown of motility morphology. If you have any other abnormalities, if you enter it, it'll tell you a flag those and explain what they mean.
Cool.
On the semen analysis side, and on the Track side, it's really going to break down both what your result means and also where you stand in the population. Okay. So in terms of like the Track cohort of users, you'll see where you stand in terms of a percentile. So nice.
And then does it also give you some education and tips or recommendations?
It sure does. So both of those, once you've gone through and entered things, it'll give you a full personalized report that'll say, here are the things you need to work on. Both on the lifestyle side and then in the sperm side, it will give you some tips for trying to conceive. So if you're kind of in the lower range, it'll kind of talk through that. If you're in the middle range, if you're in the high range, it'll talk through just if you're trying to have a baby from the man's perspective, what are some things to work on or to do.
Awesome.
And then we also have the third tab at the bottom here. And tab is also written for Don't Cook for the app itself. And, you know, there's probably over 300 articles on everything you could possibly imagine of male fertility. The research that's been done, details about how to talk to your doctor if you need to, details on various medical conditions that are known to contribute. If you have a medical condition that you're wondering, it's probably in there. Like, you know, if you have Crohn's disease or something, like, does that impact? Then you can go in and look that up and see what the research is. And we're adding new articles all the time because there's new literature that's being done. but really trying to be a comprehensive source of information for men to really understand what impacts their reproductive health.
Cool. That's awesome. And then obviously you also have the website / blog of Don't Cook Your Balls as well, which has education and information as well.
It does. It also has a community. So a lot of men are there posting and leaving comments. I'm on there all the time, responding to people. People are sharing their own stories about what they've done to try to improve their sperm count, what's worked, what hasn't. So there's a lot of really great stuff. There's also a gadget section on that site, so that talks about all the latest tech available. Things that you've seen, like the Snowballs underwear are on there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Various
Cool.
kinds of fertility trackers, any kind of apps that we see. So there's a new app I just found like last week on premature ejaculation, and it's interesting. It has a lot of great exercises in it and things like that. And so I posted that there. So anything that's really kind of men's sexual reproductive health, it's becoming a place for that.
Cool. Yeah. I'm as we're talking, I'm clicking on the site and look around. So there's a lot of good information.
Yeah.
Talks about lifestyle and all sorts of things. It's really great. So one of the ways that I think, men out there or couples, if you're thinking about how to use this, I would say if you've just started trying and you're curious to see where you stand now, right, today to start off, then this is a great tool to use at home to test and then track and monitor your results. Also, let's just say you've been trying for 6 months and you haven't gotten any results. A lot of, depending on your age, but a lot of physicians would say you're not ready to have any tests done, just keep trying, sort of thing. This is also a good place to start. And then from there, if your numbers come back and they're below the 15 marker, or they're close to it, then I think that might be a reason to say, okay, maybe I need to get a more thorough test done at that point. But this is a really, really great place to get started, to start tracking and to start monitoring your results at home without having to go in all the time and make it inconvenient and uncomfortable. So I think this is going to be a great advancement in the male fertility space, which there's really not enough information and treatment for. And so this is a really great, useful tool to use at home for all of you who are trying to figure that out and monitor your progress. And I get questions about this all the time. So this is a valuable one, which is why we've got Sarah here today.
Thanks. Yeah.
Any last minute things that you want to add on and mention?
No, I think we've really covered it. The kit is available for sale on trackfertility.com. So you can go to our website, trackfertility.com. It's available there. You can also purchase refill kits. So if you get a test and you go through the 4 tests, there's really affordably priced refill tests, so you can just continue tracking as long as you need to. And I'm personally, I'm really passionate and really want to give men the best that they can have. So I'm always available for questions or comments, either through Don't Cook Your Balls, or you can reach me at my email, Sarah@trackfertility. And I'm happy to talk to you because
cool.
I love this stuff. I mean,
that we know. Cool. And I was just taking a peek at all the tech stuff on the Don't Cook Your Balls. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, so check it out when you guys have time. We'll post links on this on the comments or the description section of this video here on YouTube. We're also going to have a separate blog post on our website devoted to this video and how to reach out to Sarah, get your track, and get more information on male fertility. So, if you want any of that and you want to reach out to Sarah, then you can do so with any of those links as well.
I guess one parting word is that if you're curious, the app is free. Go download it, take the questionnaire, and find out what your risks are, and take them to Dr. Sklar or get a track test, but don't sit there and do nothing, because
Absolutely.
this is half of fertility issues are attributed to men, and there's a lot you can do. So, take those steps. These are easy things you can do rather than the invasive stuff that is going to happen on your partner's side if you go down that route. So,
yeah,
do your part.
Absolutely. Step up to the plate, get your track, get tested, monitor your results, and make changes.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, Sarah, so much for being here, for sharing the information. I hope all of you enjoyed the information that Sarah and I had to share and that you find it useful and valuable. If you do, give me a little thumbs up. Share the news with those who you think would find it useful. And if you want more information on all the upcoming videos that I have, then subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get that right in your inbox. Until next time and the next episode of Fertility TV, I'll see you then. Thanks so much. Are you looking for more information on how to improve your fertility? Tips, useful information, how-tos, words of encouragement? Then you need to be part of my community. You can sign up for my newsletter right here.